Welcome to Am I Too Loud, the podcast. Are we ready? Are you ready for love? Oh! You guys, the fact that I have this like really cute cup and it matches my fit today. Don't also I look like a banana earlier. That was unfortunate. Oh my god, I have to do it. I have to do it. Hold on. Have you seen? I'm bad at it. He said I look like a banana, and I literally am the same exact color as my banana. Fun fact, I love bananas. Not like that, you dirty girl. Whew, you guys. Oh, this episode. I'm literally shaking. I am shaking from the cold, but also shaking from like what I'm about to say, because I feel like I don't know where to start. But I can do hard things, and I can accept when something isn't working out. In one of the episodes, I don't know if it's come out yet, we talk about failure and failing and whether or not I've ever failed at something and why I think I failed or why I don't think I failed. It is so cold right now. It's currently like 30 degrees in New York City right now. It is winter. I am sitting on my balcony recording and it's not working. I don't want to cry. It's not working. And I don't know what I thought. I remember like having a meeting with my management and team, and my manager said something that stuck with me of like a lot the entire time. She made a comment, love her down, and she said like, oh, like this is a whole production. I just thought that you're gonna just film in your closet, pick up a mic and just do it. And every time I talk to people around my team, they always like, you're just doing a production. Like, why don't you just grab a mic, sit in a closet and do it? And I'm like, because I'm an overachiever. Like I am the oddity for a fucking reason, man. Like I want things that no one is thinking about. I want to do a podcast on the balcony. Is that feasible or not? I don't know. Let's find out. Let's put freaking lights. Let's hire a production team. Let's get a new director's couch because I want to be a director sometime in my future. Let's set it up. Let's buy a neon sign. Let's do a podcast on the balcony. Maybe this might be the highest Guinness World Records for the highest level of podcast has ever been filmed. JK, that's not true. Pretty sure people film on higher floors, outdoors on the balcony. And I don't know. I really wanted this to work out, and it feels like it's not working out. I really wanted a podcast. Like, you guys, this was the goal. It's been a dream. Am I Too Loud was my dream for 4 years, and I took a stab at it. I did it. I think I've filmed up to 10 episodes already. Branding is exactly what I wanted, but it's just not working out. It's just not working out. I've seen a lot of comments about how people can tell I'm not comfortable, how people can tell that it just doesn't feel cozy. People can tell that like I'm just not doing, like I don't feel like me. And I'm like, no, I am me. Like I feel like this is me. This is what I enjoy doing. But I just don't think it's happening the way I wanted it to happen. So this is the end. That is crazy to say because I don't give up, bro. Like I don't give up. I don't give up. I do not give up. If there's one thing, I literally called my friend Donald, who's standing there looking like he's about to cry. I called him yesterday and I was like, what if I fail? I literally, like, I'm going to try to put a text on the screen. I literally told Donald, what if I fail? Like, what if this doesn't work out? What if I don't become the next female Kevin Hart? What if the Oddity doesn't become an asshole name? What if I don't have my own TV show? What if I don't act? What if I don't meet Lupita Nyong'o and Trevor Noah? Random, I know, threw that out there. Hello, fellow African here. Let's hang out. What if I don't make my foundation? What if I don't get a house for my mom? What if I don't make her life comfortable? What if I fail? I don't want to. Oh my god, I'm getting emotional. I don't want to fail, you guys. I do not want to fail. So yeah, this is the end of the road for this. I don't know. I really wanted this to work out this way and it didn't. And so I know when things aren't working out and I know when to just call it quits. So your girl is calling it quits. I love you very much. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, guys. Oh my God, that was hard. Lord have mercy. Oh my God, y'all. It's so hot in here. Donald, I'm so sad.
What are you sad?
I don't know, because I really, really wish, I don't know, I really wanted that to work out. And it feels weird. It feels like I failed because it didn't work out. Does this look good?
Yeah.
Right?
No, I think it does.
Hold on a second. Wait, because I'm not cold.
Yeah, you're comfortable.
I'm comfortable. I
Yeah.
feel like I could like stick into this and like be cozy and chill. Does it look bad? Be honest.
No, it does look good.
Does it still give out like the vibe of New York City?
Yeah.
Does it give like the vibe of like your cozy best friend, you're on the couch gisting about random things?
This is how we would sit normally if we were
Yeah.
just talking. Yeah.
We're talking about that is true. I don't want to be basic though. I want to be different.
This is not basic.
Yeah.
You have the sign at the back.
Oh, we'll put that there. Was that you?
Yeah.
Oh, that was smart. Oh my God. So are you really doing this again?
Yeah.
Like
version 2.0.
Version 2.0?
Yes, sir.
Does it mean we failed in the first time? I think we should do it. I don't think it's failure if we keep trying. Because I really want this to work. Yeah. I want to be the biggest podcaster in the world. I want Black women to feel safe. I want women to feel safe. I want people to feel safe when they watch me. I want to make people smile. I want to make people happy. I want a space where you can come in, hit play, whether that's on Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere else, and you feel really freaking loved and you feel like, holy smokes, she's saying exactly what I've thought of sometimes. So, I guess the balcony didn't work out. But guess what? Doing it inside instead.
Let's go.
Oh my God. Sorry, y'all. That was so dramatic.
And now you have mic.
Donald says I must not yell into the new mic.
No, because we need to make sure like it's not like mad loud.
I made it so far away.
Well, that sounds... No.
Was it good?
No,
I have a podcast mic. Don't play with your girl. Hello. It's me. I've been wondering if after all these years you like to meet to go over everything here. Let's say the time. Okay, I'm copyright. Okay.
I don't think you get copyright from your voice.
No, because I sound like Adele. Why'd you laugh that hard? That's crazy. You laughed. You burst out laughing. You cackled. Do you not think I sound like Adele? Anyways, it's great.
You sound like Adele.
Hey guys, welcome back to Am I Too Loud, the podcast with Sophie, aka the Odditty. If you're new here, I've changed my set. I'm so sorry. I feel like because I'm on the couch, I'm gonna be real comfortable, and I feel like I won't belch or fart. Like I feel like that is a possibility. But yeah, you guys, welcome back to the podcast. I genuinely feel a lot more comfortable. Now, here's the thing. When I first started the podcast and everyone asked me what I wanted for the podcast, immediately I was trying to figure out what a set looked like. And I really, 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 really did not want to film in my apartment. I just felt like because I already filmed so much in my apartment, if you follow my vlog channel, you know, the Odditty Diaries, shameless plug, really, really just didn't want to film because I'm always vlogging in my apartment. I felt like I wanted something different and new. The Oddity is crazy. The Oddity, right? And so for me, the whole point of like filming on my balcony was because I wanted it differently. I never use my balcony. I'm never out there. It was going to be like a really like bold, new, fun thing to do. And we started launching this in the fall and we even thought about the winter and I was like, it would be fun to like film the podcast even when it's snowing because it would look really pretty. But I guess that is where we talk about creativity versus execution, right? Because there's certain times when you feel like you really, really want to create something, but that executing part gets tough. For me, everybody I told who was like a producer when I was like, I really, really want to film on my balcony, they're like, girl, just film in your apartment. You still have the gorgeous view. You still have all these things. Like, just do it anyways. For me, I was always like, no, because y'all, you're limiting my spark. Like, I'm Beyonce, okay? If I want really tall lights, figure it out and get me really tall lights. And so I really wanted to launch on the balcony. I felt like it was different. Y'all thought it was really, really cool. But I will say, nobody gave a flying fuck.
Nobody cared.
Nobody cared but me. I'm telling you, I was expecting someone to be like, yo, that's a fire set. Yo, that's lit. First balcony podcast. No, nobody really gave a shit. You know,
Why do you think
nobody.
that is though?
I don't know. I don't want to even like try to argue or think about it. I just know nobody cared. So for me, it was just random. I was like, oh fudge. Well, never mind then. And then when I started getting comments about people not feeling like I was comfortable talking because I was sitting outside, it was getting colder, the wind sometimes. I was like, you know what? They're actually not wrong. Like sometimes I need to bite the bullet and realize something is not working and let's shift. So I just want to apologize to like 4 or 5 people who from the beginning were like, just do it on your couch, put some lights up, sit down and just talk and have conversations. I tend to always want to go above and beyond when sometimes just actually being and seeing yourself where you are is okay. However, that also doesn't mean that you shouldn't try, right? And I think that's the whole point of this podcast episode, because in this episode we're going to be talking all about failure and trying and failing and trying and failing and what that looks like, because your girl has a weird, interesting relationship with failure. And I feel like we all sort of do. And this is like the primary example of that. And I think that's why this works out. Because for me, when I heard people tell me, don't do it, like, don't do it this way, don't do it that way, do it this way. And now it ends up being like, oh, they were right. Because I had to pivot and move. And now I'm doing this again in a whole different way. I feel like I failed. I'm like, damn, that idea failed. Like, but I don't think I fail because I think I'm trying. Like the idea for me is failure is only failure if you stop trying. The moment you stop trying, that's when I think you've given into the idea of failure. And I think for me, especially with this podcast, my goal is to be that space for a lot of creators, for a lot of people who are just wanting an escape from reality. If you hear me talk, you know I can yap for days. I am very fluent in Japanese. I enjoy talking to people. I have very interesting perspectives. And I really, really tend to shy away from actually sharing my opinions on a lot of things. And for me, this podcast is my way of getting comfortable with sharing my opinions, because I saw a video clip for Denzel Washington when he talked on TikTok, where he was talking about how he doesn't even have social media now because we're not meant to hear this many opinions from people around the world. Like, we grew up just hearing maybe our family's opinions, maybe, and even then you had to respect the person to give a flying fudge. And now we're hearing like a million opinions about something. It tends to shape the way you think about yourself, a lot of people around you, and so on. So for me, I would always take people's opinions in. And it's interesting now because I feel like I'm also one of those opinion pieces in that
So do
noise.
you think that's good or bad?
I think it's interesting. I think that's the space we're in. Like the
Right.
world is never going to be the same way it was 10 years ago.
Or like 20 years ago
Yeah,
when
or even
when
ever,
he
right?
was, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's normal now.
I think it's good though, because
It
it's
opens your horizons a
it
bit.
also lets people know that like we're all the same
Yeah.
in some way.
Yeah. Oh my god, I can even like do this and talk.
Yeah.
You guys look, I really like this now. Is it weird? This is our first time attempting to film this way. And like, but I will say, when Donald gave me this mic, I freaked out. If you're not watching this and you're listening to the audio, I'm currently using this like Sennheiser long mic with a wire. And I'm sitting on my couch right now. If you're not watching, you should go click on the YouTube channel, Am I Too Loud Pod, because that would, if you watch it to see exactly what happened. But I shifted from the balcony. If you listen on Spotify, you wouldn't know any of these things. So I think it's only the YouTube audience. So if you're seeing the video, JK, Spotify has video now, because Spotify is not Spotify
Yes.
for creators. So I don't think any of this should even matters. However, if you've only ever listened to the podcast on audio, then let me try to describe what's happening right now. I'm seated on a green couch, which is my green couch. Also, if you have a girl in your life who has a green couch, she is bisexual. Super random. Just want to throw that out there. We're going to move on. So I'm sitting on my green couch. What? I have very comfy pillows behind me. I am wearing a green hoodie, black leggings, one of my favorite rings from a very special person. I have my smiley face earrings. I have a beat ass face. Okay, I look stunning. I don't think I like sitting this way because I think it has easy access for the fart to come out. Like, I'm just letting you know. Like you know when like you're thinking of farting, but if you were sitting and the fart is compressed, it wouldn't come out. I feel like because my butt is out, it feels like the fart can just go and then it would just be out. So I might change my position. But the point is, that's where I forgot what I was saying. What was I? What was this? What was this supposed to lead to?
Figure.
Oh, this is where Sophie is comfortable. This is why I was ADHD, y'all. Okay. basically what I was trying to say from the beginning that I've definitely forgot now is
Mhm.
I'm describing for the audio people what they're watching.
Yes.
And then there has to be a reason.
If you're one of the, you know, few lovely people who listen via audio,
Donald gets really upset when he talks about the numbers on the podcast because Spotify had like 8 downloads last week.
honestly,
And
I
he
fuck
was
with
very upset.
8 of y'all. Like,
8 people who watch us on Spotify or listen to us on Spotify, shout out to y'all for downloading. Also, that person who gave me, I don't know what star you gave me,
it's like
but
4.5.
we're not 4.5.
No, what is it? I thought it was 4.5.
No, it's 4.9.
Oh, it's 4.9.
Don't play
No,
me.
no, it's not
Don't
4.5.
stress. 4.5 is crazy.
No, it's not 4.5.
Do you know how much they have to hate the podcast for it to be that rated that low? Let's go find it. I'm not even gonna play right now. You guys, this is so random. We're gonna get into the episode, I promise. This is, oh my god, you guys, I feel like this is so much more better. I hate that the people were right. Like, I'm so mad they were right now. Okay, so never mind. I take it back. Don't listen to this and then be like, oh, she's upset. Now I want to go. No, please rate us really highly, y'all. Like, I'm really, really, really proud of this podcast and like how hard we're working on it. What were we talking about? Failure. Okay, let's talk about failure, you guys, because I don't know. I have an interesting relationship with failure. You're right. I was bringing up this thing for a reason. So, my sitting down for audio. So, for video listeners, this to me felt like, oh, I'm recording in my apartment. It's not like, boom, like the Odditty's here, Sophie's here. I want more. I wanted more. And I don't want to feel like I settled, but as I get comfortable right now, I'm realizing I don't think I actually settled. I actually enjoy it.
I mean, let's talk about the
Just
reasons
talking.
why we moved inside.
Okay.
First of all,
I like how Donald always brings me back on track. Donald is like, you
Yeah.
are doing a lot, bring it back.
No, because like, first of all, it's cold.
It's freezing.
Because
But honestly, I didn't mind the cold.
No.
You did?
Yes.
I really didn't mind the cold. But I also, I wasn't ever comfortable.
Yes.
Now,
And
I
we
would
could,
say
I
that.
feel like we had like, in our minds, we're like, okay, we're going to set up, we're going to film for 50 minutes, stretch it to an hour, and then we're done.
Yeah, that's true. Because I really wasn't ever comfortable. I think if anything, I was just like relaxed. I was just like, not relaxed, but I felt a bit like stiff because I wanted to just get it over with.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt very mechanical. But here's the thing. Oh my God, I might fart. Like,
if you fart on the podcast, then y'all are getting like real Sophie.
No, because I fart a lot. FYI. Let's do this. So I think this will cover the fart. Is that weird?
I thought, what happened to Baddie energy?
Oh shoot! Wait.
This is not Baddie energy.
I'm so sorry, you guys. For context, what Donald was saying, we're gonna get into Sephora Squad because that has a lot to do with failure for this episode. I am on a quest to be a baddie. And I'm going to tell you why I'm on a quest. Now, everything I say right now is absolutely parody/satire. I absolutely know I'm a baddie and I enjoy that I am an individual who likes what she likes and who is figuring life out. However, there is a left titty in me who really, 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 really just wants to be a baddie. Like, and what I mean by that is like, here's the thing. I feel like maybe every episode this comes up. Why are you laughing?
No, because I'm listening to what you're saying, and I'm having a hard time putting it together. Because all I heard, left titty, and I'm like...
Because your left titty always acts up.
How am I supposed to know that?
It's the thing. I feel like your left titty always acts up. That's not the point. You're such a man.
For the 2%
you hear
male
boobs,
audience?
You hear boobs all the time. They hear you a ha 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 ha. Let me explain what I'm saying. Okay. So for the left titty in me, right? I just really, really feel like because I am a Black woman in America, right? And I know I bring it up a lot. My identity is important to me. Not because I have to throw color out there for the world to see, which again, if you simply exist, you know what I look like. But because the dynamics in which I exist matter in how far I can go. Let me explain. So I live in America. I am also of Nigerian descent. So I do have the history of living in a space where I am the majority. I recognize that if I had this similar podcast in Nigeria for a Nigerian or African audience, my reach is a lot larger than my reach would be here in America, which is common sense, right? Because I'm not the majority here. Now, because of the way America is set up, it is harder for me to break into a market that doesn't see me as the star, right? That's why you have outliers. You have a Viola Davis, a Gabrielle Union. But even then, I'm pretty sure you can only probably name like 10 to 15 folks who have broken through to that level of star, like a Lupita Nyong'o of stardom that we see, like Trevor Noah within the American landscape. But you can probably count numerous and numerous and numerous white actors, actresses, producers, all that stuff. Because again, the majority population in America is white. I say all that because I recognize within just the fact that I am a Black woman on this podcast, and this is a Black woman led podcast, right? And just my social media in general, within the context of social media, if I looked a certain way, I have a higher chance of success than simply being me. And that's not saying I'm changing myself. I just understand the reality, right? And so if we've been talking about failure, this is me when I'm thinking strategically and calculating. I'm not comparing myself and I'm not saying any of these people are wrong, but there's a difference between how the Baddie Black aesthetic is. So like think about a Jackie Aina, a Clark, a Monet McMichael, the girls who can get their makeup done, who look fantastic, who, just amazing women, right? And I like to say like the alternative, quirky, random, bright, bold Black girls, right? Because even within that minority group, that niche is also a minority. Does that make sense? And so it's harder for you to break through the minority first and then even break even farther into the majority group. Does that make sense? I brought all of that into the conversation because I want to fart. And I don't really think Jackie Aina will fart on the podcast. You know what I mean? I don't think, honestly, let's not even name drop Jackie. I don't think any woman would fart in a podcast, right? Or anybody. Majority of the people in the world would not fart on a podcast. I think they could just edit it out. Now, I would fart on a podcast and keep it in. Now you're probably like, that's nasty. I did say it wasn't.
Is it nasty though?
Because you can't smell it. You just hear the sound. If anything, Donald might be the one who's like, damn, you shouldn't do that. That's not fair to me. Right? But at the end of the day, like, poor you. You know what I mean? You take it in.
Because we all do it.
Like, everybody in the world farts. Why is farting a bad thing?
Right.
Oh my God, I love that we're on the couch right now because I am just yapping. I am just talking.
That's a good point though, because like within family, quick
sidebar. Tell me.
My dad, every time he would fart, he would tell us to tell him that he was sorry. That's torture. But I think like in family dynamics, like farting.
We have that person who farts. Like my mom farts.
Yeah.
Like it's her thing. Yeah. Like wet farts, soft farts, loud farts. Like humans fart, but there's a certain level of perception. It's true. There's a certain level of like put togetherness you need to have about it. So again, this all came up because I want to fart, and I'm also trying to be a baddie. Oh my God, just for the plot.
We're going down bad. This is going downhill fast, bro.
And I just really, really enjoy the fact that I want to keep that in, but also like that's just a crazy sentiment, babe. Like
no, because
I can edit it out.
Ooh, you can also pull it back.
Okay,
right?
Tell me.
What is it about farting?
Yeah.
Around people that makes us not want to do it? Do you
smells.
Think people?
No, it just smells.
No, but like, does it connect to failure though?
No, baby, it just smells bad. Like you feel as a human being, because why is that coming out of you?
You know what I think? I think generally people are moving and they're farting a lot of the time.
Everybody. Have you been on the New York subway?
People know how to fart like I.
If you fart right now,
I know.
Guys, let's talk about it real quick. Hold on.
Don't open that can of worms.
No, we're gonna open it.
Okay.
So I am a pretty dainty galley. Okay, like I'm like 5'6" on a good day, 5'7" on a better day, right? And my farts are bold. Okay, they're courageous. They're loud. Like if I fart, y'all gonna hear it. Like it's not gonna be soft. Donald's farts are so pretty. Like Donald is like 6'2", 6'3", and Donald farts with such. Honestly, you fart like a girl. Like you fart really young. Like you fart like you don't eat a lot. Your diet. Your diet plays a huge role in how you fart. Donald, that's what it is. Because what did you eat this morning?
Eggs with heavy cream.
Yeah, but that heavy cream is like keto, isn't it? Yeah. No, that's what it is. Because I ate peanut butter with bananas and a sourdough bread. Sourdough.
It's sour, dude.
Already I know it's gonna be bad. Anyways, okay, we're done with the tangent. If you listen up to here, I'm so sorry. This is what's gonna happen if I'm on the podcast now, like on the couch. Okay, so we've accepted that we're not a failure. I'm not a failure. I am curious to see how this will go, like just sitting here and talking and yapping, because I'm really curious. And also, like, if we do end up having guests, I don't mind, because people are already in my house, inviting them to come sit on the green couch,
Yeah.
because the green couch is so me. The painting is like, this is so me. Like, this feels like me. Like, everything on this couch right now is this.
Yeah.
Like the background. Oh wait, the background, all of it. So we're pivoting, and I think the art of the pivot is something that I am learning to not take to heart and just understand that, like, that's just how life is.
Yeah.
Failure. Donald, what is failure? Let's get into the actual episode now.
I think failure to me
Yeah.
is stopping.
Okay, that's a good one. That's
Right?
true. Yeah.
Like lack of motion.
Lack of notion?
Motion.
Motion. Ooh, lack of motion. I think so. I think, what's the actual, can you Google it? What's the actual meaning of failure?
Actual definition of failure.
Yeah.
Let's see. Lack of success
Mm,
or the omission of expected or required action.
interesting. I like lack of success,
Okay.
because I think that is such a deep way of talking about failure, because I don't think about failure as lack of success, because to me success is so far, you know what I mean? Like, when you think of the word success and to succeed, if I think about it from the podcast perspective, to say this podcast is successful has to require a lot of things, right? Like, I would want like 100,000 downloads, maybe to be signed by a podcast agency, da 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 da, right? But what if something happens and then I stop now, right? I would say I've failed, but if I keep trying, then, like, when do I know I've aspired to that level of success? Does that make sense? What I just said right now?
No,
Because I feel like I love that says that, because we think of failure so close to home when it's really not.
Yeah.
Because to hit yourself with the word to hit yourself with the word I am a failure is so deep, because you are not. You have not even continued on enough to reach that level of success that you're looking for, even if you reach a threshold, right? So for example, if I say I want to launch a book, and I am currently 27 years old, and I haven't launched it yet, I'm not a failure right now. If I even start writing the book today, I'm not a failure.
Yeah.
If I write the book tomorrow, I'm not. If I write the book at 50, or if I wait till I'm 50 to write the book, I've still not failed at it, because I can still write the damn book.
That's why I said failure, because, like,
yeah,
if you get to a point where you decide to not write the book again,
right,
so you failed at that project.
Yeah. So again, the idea of like failure is simply not trying.
Yeah.
And the moment you quit, basically, is the moment
Is where
you've
you
actually
yeah.
failed. And the funny thing about quitting is you can always start again. So
Yeah.
you're never really quitting unless you truly, truly end something
Yeah.
and never pick it up again. And I don't think people are like that. I don't think
Yeah.
a lot of people are like that, unless you've truly given up. But to be alive and to live is to be constantly doing something, right? So even if you ever had, most of the people who are watching this probably have an interest maybe in being a content creator, right? And a lot of people will say, I really want to start, but I don't want to fail. And I tell them, the fact that you haven't started means you're letting yourself open the door to failure, because you're not even trying yet. Like, the moment you try, you're already reaching success, because no
Ooh.
matter what, you're already there.
You failed to start.
Mm.
Right? I think another thing I wanted to add too is I think about it like physics, right? I love physics, and when you talk about energy, potential and kinetic energy.
Yeah.
Right? So something being subjective and objective. I think if you think about failure from a subjective, or like success from a subjective point of view, it's like now, like you said, right? 100,000.
Yeah.
But success is actually that continuous motion. It's the fact that you actually have, this is not a potential of something that could happen. It's like every day you're gaining 2 subscribers, 10 subscribers. And I think a lot of people are so fixated on the outcome. Yeah. Right? But there are a lot of things that factor into the outcome.
In the first place.
They're like, it's so subjective, right? You can't control.
I think that brings up like the recent drama online with Sephora Squad, right? So if y'all don't know, if you're listening to this, I think a month ago or so, because by the time you listen to this podcast, it would have been like about a month or like less than that. but Sephora Squad is it's an application grants program where a bunch of mostly beauty mostly beauty and lifestyle creators come together and they apply to be on this maybe 25 or 20 or 50, I can't remember the amount of number, group, right? Where for a whole year you are a part of Sephora, like you're working for Sephora with the brands. What this means is you have a ton of opportunities. And so to apply for the squad, you have to do an application, tell them why you're going to be a good fit, and then you seek out something called testimonials, where you tell your followers, your friends, whoever, to submit paragraphs, sentences, anything about you. So they're going to submit testimonials about you for them to say like, oh my god, you're a great fit, you should definitely be a part of the squad. The benefit of the squad is for you to get a bunch of brand deals for the year. People like leave their jobs once they get it, because Sephora has a lot of brands under their umbrella. So you can get like 5 brand deals offered to you in a day, right? And it's continuous, and then you have like a base amount of money you're gonna get paid. So if you have like 100,000 followers and your base for each brand deal is $5,000 to $7,000, and you get 20 brand deal offers per day for the next year, you're set for life. Now, of course, you're not going to get that much, but the idea is you're getting that opportunity because it's so narrow, it's so linear, it's so direct. The last Sephora Squad was just announced, and the uproar on social media was insane. I mean, the think pieces were so much, right? Around the people that were selected, folks who were bitter that they didn't get it, folks who were confused about the people that they selected. It was just a lot. And I remember having that conversation and saying, well, first of all, there's a certain level of entitlement that comes with creators now within this space about things like this, right? Like, I should have gotten it because I am great too. Why didn't I get it? And why did they get it? But I also try to remind people there's a ton of creators in the world. This is $1 billion industry now for a reason. Everybody wants to be a creator. Even if you stand out, there are 20 million other people that stand out. That's one. Number two, it is okay to not get something now. You did not fail because you did not make something like that now, because you can always try and try again. I know about 5 to 7 people on the squad who are selected who have applied 3 to 5 times, who never once said anything online about dissenting or being upset that they didn't get selected, because they knew, if anything, they were waiting their turn and they were trying. So for someone like me, for example, first year I applied, I was never doing any beauty content, so I didn't think I had a chance. This year when I applied, I have done a few beauty content pieces here and there. Like, people think I'm a beauty creator, so I was like, oh, I might have a chance, but I also was like, not really, like I really don't do much. And so when I didn't get it, I was like, also, I didn't try, right? And even if I tried and I didn't get it, I would still not say I failed, because I'm like, this is always going to be a thing for the next year and the next year after that. So there's always going to be an opportunity to try. Now, I will say for Sephora specifically, there's one take from this creator, Nakeshi, who said, well, basically, the squad also points out the discrepancies of being a Black creator, where if you're not like Patricia Bright aesthetic or Jackie Aina aesthetic, you have a harder barrier for entry, which is factual, right? That's so true. Again, that doesn't negate the fact that you can still always try, right? Because society is always going to society. Brands
Right.
are going to brand. Marketing is always going to market, right? I just, I don't know whether it's the arrogance or audacity of being Nigerian or just being who I am, but the circumstances around something would never stop me from trying anyways, right? I would never count myself out because of what cards I am dealt. Does that make sense? So when I heard her take, she's absolutely right. Like, it is much easier to be an influencer if you have that aesthetic, because that's aspirational content. But for me, I think it's even more special when you keep at it, when you keep standing out, when you keep being who you are, because your time will come. My friend Cinderella OG is a great example of that. You might think Cindy is the Jackie Aina and Patricia Bright aesthetic because she can do her makeup. Yes, she kills it at the makeup game. However, Cindy's also a great example of a creator who has always tried no matter what. Like, Cindy's an OG YouTube creator who has done like the games. She was like, I hate to like bring this as a comparison, but like the only like parallel I can draw is like Nella Rose when she started with her friend group. That was Cindy, right? Yes, she could do makeup, but she was also doing like the hosting and the things with her friends and the games way before anything. And then she also did the beauty stuff. And her edits are insane. They're so intentional. They're so cool. They're so quirky. She's so vibrant. She's so natural. She's so herself. She's so vulnerable online. She's not necessarily that same aesthetic. And she's constantly never changed herself. Like, she's always just stuck to it. And now she's a part of the squad, right? Like, that to me is something that makes me scream, wow. Like, that is admirable. You want to always retain your authenticity, even through everything else that comes your way.
Right.
Yeah. So, rant over about Sephora Squad. So I wish more people did that. I wish more people sort of saw.
This happens every year, right?
Yes, every year. It's another opportunity.
So why are people not patient?
I think also failure is scary, right? Because a big part of the squad and a big part of the failure in this instance is public, right? This is a huge thing with failure too.
Mhm.
You can't know I failed at something if I didn't tell you,
Right.
right? So the Sephora Squad issue also stems from when you ask people for testimonials, the failure, even though I don't think it's failure, it's not failure. The failure is louder because now your fans are like, oh, they just shared the list. You didn't get it, but this person did. Oh, you failed. You lost. They won.
But you also knew that there was a chance you weren't going to get it.
Yes, but there's a certain level of delusion that everybody has when you go
Mhm.
into something. Like, when I apply for every grant, I'm going to get it. Like, why wouldn't I get it? I'm
Yeah.
me. I'm not, if I don't get it, like the amount of grants I've applied for that I haven't gotten, I would never say it.
Right.
Sometimes I probably do. Knowing me, I probably have said, oh, I'm doing this and doing that, right? But there's most people who don't. So I
Yeah.
think the issue with Sephora Squad and why this was such a big deal this year is because, of course, opinion pieces of social media, especially TikTok, have become more.
It's getting louder.
Everybody wants to be heard in this space. Am I too loud?
It's very
Literally,
It's
the
very strange too
podcast.
because the people who are also like talking about it and they apply to,
Yeah.
that's not good
It's
strategy.
not, I talked about that too. That's a whole different podcast.
So
episode. Like
it's
Influencer 101, we're going to talk about it in the podcast.
yeah,
episode.
because like,
But yeah, that's not a good
Right.
strategy. I also don't fault them for it though. Like, I think there's a frustration that comes with the influencer world and like just trying to constantly fight for the little that's there, especially within like POC communities, brown communities, black communities as well. Because the pie is not big like across the board, right? Like, if there's a 100% pie within our community, excuse me, we're fighting for 30, maybe 45%, excuse me, at the same time. So, but with failure, I think the biggest thing with Sephora Squad was the fact that it was loud. Like, it was announced, right? Like, your failure feels a lot more public. And that's where the shame part comes in. Because again, to police failure is to be ashamed of it, right? Like, if I said, I think I've said I wanted to do a podcast, but I never really like poured into it. And I never said it out loud for a while. I never said the name. I never said when I was launching it. Because to me, if I said it, then I would fail if I didn't tell you all about it. And I'm glad now that even saying things like that out loud pushes me to want to keep going, wanting to do it.
right.
Because I think that's the biggest part of like navigating what failure could look like. So,
I don't know. What about the other creators? Because like some creators were talking about how a lot of people that were selected were OG
yes.
and they had a lot of followers.
Okay. This.
And then another person said something about, you know, like in the regular, like your regular job, right?
Yeah.
It's like when you've done 10 years in the game,
Yeah.
you're expected to get more,
Mm-hmm.
right? And like you have like, you're probably a VP, all of that.
Yeah.
What do you have to say about that?
There's a story I'm going to tell. There was one time, this was like 2-3 years ago. I had a creator friend. Friend is a loose term for the person I'm talking about here. I think at the time I had 100,000 followers, maybe 150,000 followers on Instagram and maybe like 100K on TikTok. She had 1 million on TikTok and maybe like 60 to 100K on Instagram. I was making, I think at the time I was making about $250, maybe $300,000 a year, and she, without a million followers on TikTok, was making $0. And I remember when we had a conversation when she was talking about like monetizing and everything. I had to like give her my tips and tricks, and I realized there's a discrepancy between the number of followers and the amount of money you make as a creator. And again, I'm going to talk about this in an episode of like Influencer 101 and stuff like that. But I want to make it clear in this episode because in that conversation, a lot of people talked about being an OG, like making money, and like there are people who like are up and coming who are new. Because you're recognized doesn't mean you're the richest or you got a lot of money. Like, that is so far from the truth. And I think it's unfortunate that we don't honor the fact that people have been hustling for a really, really long time. And honestly, TikTok has a huge role to play in that, because for me, TikTok changed the landscape. Because with Instagram, the way brand deals worked, the way like longevity worked and everything, it wasn't as equal, but at least you could in some capacity monetize, right? With TikTok, virality comes really quickly. Like, you're seen really quickly. Like, to have 1 million followers on Instagram, you are raking in money then. To have 1 million followers on TikTok, you could blow up tomorrow. You could blow up the next day. And that's the end of it. And it depends, honestly, if brands even F with you. Maybe you get some brand deals sometimes, maybe not. Maybe TikTok even doesn't monetize you because they say you don't like your content, it's not friendly. There's so many nuances to it. And so for that conversation in particular, when people were talking about people being OGs, I said, and I don't think they understand that the influencer marketing is so new, so fresh, so multifaceted. No one,
Yeah.
and no one understands why, oh, how hard. No one understands how hard people have to work, no matter what their numbers are, because it is not a numbers game. That's the one thing I want to tell you. The amount of people who are like 10K followers on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, but who make $20 million in sales on TikTok Shop without the followers, right? Or even folks who even have, who even have way less or way more, who are making more. It's not a one thing strategy. So for me, when I saw people say OGs, I'm like, OGs also deserve to have money in their pocket.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, there are people on that list who, I'm not gonna name names, who have full-time jobs because they can't pay their bills, even with 300,000, 500,000, 1 million followers, who made that list because they can't monetize, because it's harder to monetize with so many different things. And also because of the kind of content. Like, Sephora Squad is Sephora Squad. Like, Sephora is a beauty brand, lifestyle brand, candles, fragrance, perfumes, beauty, all that stuff. If you're not a beauty girly, a lifestyle girly, it's even harder to get into that space. You know what I mean? So that's my 2 cents on it. Stop looking at the numbers. Because someone has 1 million followers doesn't mean they have $1 million in their bank account. Because someone has 10,000 followers doesn't mean they have $10,000 in their bank account. I think it's just hustle and monetization. And I think because monetization is so hard within the influencer space, and it's so nuanced because of the kind of creator you even have to be, I don't think it's easy. So I think opportunities like Sephora Squad is needed and necessary for every type of creator. I'm a part of the Snapchat 5 to 3 program, right? So that's like a version of Sephora Squad, but this one's for like Snapchat influencers. And we have Lala Milan in this class. Like, Lala Milan is an OG creator. Like, OG creator, right? She's on the squad with me. I could have been throwing a tantrum being like, oh my God, like, how would they let Lala Milan? We need up and coming Snap. No, I don't know her finances. Maybe she doesn't even need it. She just needed to do some production. She needed extra budget. Creativity isn't monetized the way it needs to be. We all know that. We know people who talk about, we know actors and actors who talk about people getting paid more or less because of how they are. Like, this is normal, folks. So like,
Right.
I didn't like the OG argument, because I feel like the OGs couldn't talk about, the OGs can't come on and say, don't say that about me, I'm not making money, because then they would sound like they're broke. But essentially, I think that's what it is. I think everyone deserves an opportunity no matter what. And even if Jackie Aina got a part of Sephora Squad, and what if she needed the money for something? Don't count people's pockets. I've called Jackie Aina's name so much. Jackie, I'm so sorry. I love you.
What about like for you?
What about for me?
Failure. Because you didn't get the Sephora Squad thing. How do you navigate that? That's so interesting. I've never asked you that.
You've never asked me that. First of all, I had friends who like were on it, and I feel like they would have known if I got it, so I had time to prepare for when the announcement came on. I still saw the email that said, "Oh, you're rejected."
Oh, they sent out emails?
They sent, so like, usually what happens is you apply like end of summer, and then people who get it like a month or so before they actually announce it to the public. And then when they announce the squad is also when they send out rejection emails, right? And so I kind of knew already that when I saw the squad announcements that, oh, rejection emails are coming, because why wouldn't I know I'm on the squad if the squad was announced? You know what I mean? So they usually give people months to sign NDAs, start planning travel, everything like that. And I know that because I ask a lot of questions. Again, I'm very overly prepared. So failure oftentimes used to hit me differently than now.
Right.
Because I think for me, people talk about like, what's that phrase? Preparation meets opportunity. No, preparation. I don't know. Maybe this is not, it doesn't have my favorite. But basically, I'm always prepared,
Mhm.
right? And I'm always making sure I put my best foot forward. But we've also talked about the fact that sometimes I like to not do my best so I don't feel like I failed.
Mm.
So I have different ways of managing those feelings of failure around the things I do. However, with regards to Sephora Squad, I'll try again.
Yeah.
That's my thing. I'll try again. Like for me, when I went through the list of the people they picked, I didn't look at it as I did this. If anything, I said I need to learn how to do this more.
Mm.
So there's a career, like Cindy's an example. Cindy does beauty content and she does it well. I don't, right? And I'm not gonna do it exactly like her, but I can see why they picked her. Like I'm the kind of person who I want to research, I want to review, I want to be interested in it. I don't think I'm the best at what I do because of because I'm the best at what I do. No, because I know I'm the most prepared at what I do,
Mm.
right? And even if things like that happen, I chuck it up. So I'm going to try again because next year I'm going to be better, and the next year I'm going to be better. I'm always going to keep trying. Now, at some point, I might stop trying because maybe I might outgrow it. But the thing and the cool thing about maybe just life in general is maybe at some point with Sephora Squad, I wouldn't have to even apply for the squad because I am doing other things that is already giving me the level of income that the squad would be giving me. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Yeah.
I think that's where I want people to start thinking about. Like I know I'm going to fail, right? I might not get a lot of things. I think disappointment is a part of the process to success,
Mhm.
right? It is okay to feel disappointed at something. It is not okay to stop trying. I think we sometimes forget to sit in the discomfort. And I think it's honestly also like a woman thing, right? Or people, like for the most part when we're growing up. Because you hear people talk about going through life with the audacity of a white man,
Mm.
right? Like a mediocre white man. I hate using the word mediocre, because I feel like that's like not as nice, but that's usually what the phrase is like. I need to learn to move through life with the audacity or courage of a mediocre white man. And what that
Yeah.
means is, for the most part, white men, if you're looking at the totem pole in America, for example, white men don't they don't have a lot of problems. I mean, you're at the top of the food chain. Like a white man in America is at the top of the food chain here, right?
And the
So,
audacity is
and the
crazy.
audacity is crazy because they're at the top of the food chain. A lion isn't gonna fret. I'm not saying a white man is a lion. I'm not saying that. But a lion wouldn't fret because a lion is at the top of the food chain. So for me, when I think of that in that perspective, I understand now how I move through different things, right? Because a white man is at the top of the food chain, and then usually, this is like very nuanced, right?
Like you have to
I'm not
understand.
some intersectionality diversity expert. I'm just saying I understand that in America, majority a white man is at the top of the food chain, and so for a lot of that, I understand how to move through life because of it. I see what a white man does, which is audacity. Like, oh, I didn't get this, but I'm gonna go apply for the job that has all the hardest requirements because why not?
Right.
Why not try? What's the worst that can happen? I don't get it. Okay, I'll move on to the next one.
Mhm.
There are so many opportunities because they're at the top of the food chain. There's so many opportunities for them to say yes to or no to or maybe. Like the choices are there. Now, put that into perspective for someone like me, right? I've grown up being told you can't do this, you can't do that. This space is not for you. This space is not for you. Stay in your lane. Do this, do that. To move with success, you have to be calculated. You have to do it this way.
Mhm.
So there's a certain level of cautiousness I reserve, especially within my community as well. There's also a certain level of shame that's attributed to me, right? I am required to behave a certain way just for me to exist,
Right.
right? I would typically, and I'm so proud of myself for definitely remembering when I stopped. That does not happen often, but I tend to go for opportunities then, thinking with that mindset. And I don't mean to say that as like I'm comparing myself to a white man, but strategy, right? Strategically, if I'm in a majority country, I'm going to move through that thinking about how the majority works and how to push past it. Now, this is definitely very outside the box thinking versus like honestly like I definitely also have the privilege of being an outsider within this space. So, take with that what you will. But again, the idea for that with me, especially with Sephora Squad is, oh yeah, I didn't get it. I'm going to always try again. Like it's the casual way of remembering that if things don't work out for me, something else will. right? Like always pushing through with that. Now, I'm not going to knock years and decades of oppression and struggle and stress and strife and things that definitely put you down as an individual, especially within America. But yeah, so especially with Sephora Squad, so blah, 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 I can't speak. Especially especially with Sephora Squad, that's why.
Yeah.
I think that's why I'm able to move past it. I have found success because as an outsider, I've realized the game I'm playing.
Ooh, what you just said. I
Well,
found success. Do you think you found success?
yeah, I think I am at a level of success that I'm very content with.
Okay.
Like I'm not going to front with myself and say I'm not doing well, right? Like underneath all of this, oh my God, there's so much going on, right? Like whether that's like personal success, relationship success, financial success, like world, like at the core of it, like you can break down success into different things.
Right.
But when I say I found success, I tend to mean that from a person point of view.
Right.
Like where I am right now, I'm very content with myself, with how I think, with who I am. And I don't think I would ever not say I have found success because I am not failing. I have never failed at anything because I am constantly trying. Like to be human, to be a kind of human I aspire to be, is to be one who's always self assured, but also always very self aware. So for me, every time I wake up, I'm looking at myself and saying, how can I be the best version of myself today? And that's what I mean by I found success. Because maybe I'm like, I need to eat better, right? I'm not failing because I'm not eating better right now. No, I'm trying. I'm going to go on TikTok, go on YouTube, go on Google, search for good
Right.
food and try, right? That's the same thing with like where I live, how I do things, how I interact with people. I want to make friends. I'm going to try and make sure I'm doing the things that I want to do. So at every level of the way, that perspective shift is important, right? Because I've seen so many people talk about they want to get a certain place, they want to be a certain person. And so if your perspective and your mindset is you're not it
Yeah.
till you get to that level, you're already sort of skirting on the idea of failure because you're already doing yourself a disservice by not believing in yourself in the first place because you've already won, right? Like even the fact that you're thinking about doing something and then trying to do it already shows that you're being successful at it because you're trying. And trying could look any type of way for you because you never know, right? Like it's just different.
Yeah. It's good. I think my mantra, like I run an agency called The Random Creative, right?
Yes.
And the big thing behind the Random Creative is resilience,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I think resilience is one of the biggest things that you have to, like resilience is one of the biggest things you have to build
Mm-hmm.
as a person. And I think that comes from trying different things. I
Mhm.
remember when I was in secondary school
Yeah.
and I was in GS3, right?
Did I have the white crust in my mouth?
No.
Okay.
Do I?
Mm-mm.
So I remember when I was in GS1,
Yeah.
in secondary school, this something happened in GS3, but in GS1 I was in secondary school, and after my first exam,
Mm-hmm.
my average was like 62%,
Yeah.
right? I was so mad because I go into things thinking like I'm gonna crush it. Like there's nothing I ever do that I don't think
Yeah,
like,
gonna do well at. Yeah.
and when I saw the result, I was so
You're like,
humbled.
what's
I was like, wait, what did I
Me?
do wrong?
Yeah.
What did and then like and I remember like at the end of third term, they did this thing where they put all of us into like different classes. So like
Mhm.
if you were like first to 10th in each class, you were in GS2A.
Yeah, they
You
do
know?
that too. Yeah.
So that period too also
For
taught
context, you
me.
guys, in secondary school in Nigeria, GS1 to GS3 is like middle school.
Yeah.
And then technically like SS1 to SS3 is like high school here,
Yeah,
basically.
so it's
That's
like
how you're
grade 7 to 9
Yeah, and then 9 to 12.
and then 10 to 12.
There we go.
10 to 12.
Yeah, there we
Yeah.
go.
Because you go from
Yeah,
middle
that's your
school
9,
into
10.
high school.
Yeah,
10
exactly.
to
So
12.
that's GS1, GS3, SS1,
Pretty much
SS3.
the same concept,
Yeah.
right? But I think that's the thing, is just building resilience. And you can
Yeah.
only build resilience from failing a lot.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. I think a lot of the shift right now in life and society and what makes failure so prominent for a lot of people is, especially within the creator industry and with the advent of social media, success and failure now is loud,
Right.
right? Because usually if you apply for a job, unless you're telling your family and friends you're applying for a job, it's typically just about like self success or like self failure, right? Like, oh, that hurt me. I didn't get it, but I'm going to try again. With social media, everything is pretty public, right? Like, you get engaged and you have to announce your engagement is done.
Oh my God.
You get what?
This thing you just said. Okay. So
Oh my God, what's crazy?
I just got a new car, right?
Okay, yes.
I got a new car, got a Tesla 2025.
He did.
you know, made a
We're
video.
very proud of Donald. Shout out to Donald for getting his
In
new car.
2021, I wanted to get the same car,
Yeah.
right? But I didn't because, you know, it didn't
Yeah.
feel like the right thing to do at that time.
Yeah.
But now I got it and I posted a photo,
Mhm.
right? And I struggled a lot with posting that photo
Yeah.
because I knew I was going to come after it.
Mhm.
And there's this thing with social media when you post stuff like that, where like,
You're chasing the next thing.
yes, and a lot of people are like, congratulations, congratulations,
You're like,
congratulations.
oh, I want more of
And the
this.
amount of people that came out of the woodworks, because now if I felt like I have been like, I've gotten a little bit of acknowledgement
You want more.
for the 10 years of work
Yeah.
that I've put
You want
in.
more.
And I'm like, okay, how can I show these people every single day that like, because I've had this feeling, the feeling of like, we're crushing it, right?
Yes.
Like the big wins that we get. But
Yeah.
like, how do you show them? How do you
different.
make them like get it?
That's why virality is a drug, right? When you go viral, that instant dopamine you get, you want more. So you're constantly chasing the next.
Right.
Next. I've had conversation with fellow creators where they've literally said, oh, like, okay, well, I need to get a car. Or I need to sell my car to get a new car. So I need to post about it because that's good content.
I need to move to a new apartment.
A new apartment, like new apartment, new car, getting engaged, getting married, having a child, having the next child, doing a house update. Like there's certain like check marks you get, especially like with society, right? Like for men and women it's different,
Yeah.
right? Like there are certain benchmark you announce, right? And that used to first like slowly start with Facebook, and now it's like everywhere. Like you have to post that achievement because you want that dopamine rush, you want that effect. And so failure now seems louder.
Yeah.
Because before, if something didn't work out, you could just quietly tuck it under the rug. But now, if something didn't work out, you're scared to be seen trying now, right? Like if I got engaged and I announced my engagement, and then 2 weeks later it's not working out, so I cancel my engagement. Oh my God.
Yeah, how do you announce that?
How do I announce that?
Right,
What do I
right.
tell people? Did I fail? Or people are going to have those think
Oh my
pieces. Opinion
God.
pieces are going to be plenty. So that's even like private moments versus personal moment and public moments, how those shape society and what we're moving to right now. It's a huge play into it.
And I just had an epiphany. That's
Tell me.
probably one thing that stops people from doing.
Yes.
Because they feel like they need to announce it.
Your needs, because like there's also that need, right? Because I envy people who don't have social medias.
Right.
Right. Because I think that, but also, and I will say this, some of my friends who don't have social medias are the ones who also never try.
True.
Like some of the ones who don't have social media, the ones who actually never try in anything, because also they're watching people try and fail publicly.
Right.
For them, right? I'm not saying those people are failing, but for them, they see people crash and burn so much is what they would say, that they don't even try to attempt to like do it.
Because you're going to lose at the end of the day. So
I have a friend who like, I can tell you, I don't think she's posted once. And she's talking about like canceling her Instagram post. Like she's like, I'm canceling Instagram. I'm like, girl, no one's looking. Like, girl, it's like the 500 of us that went to school together. About like, you're fine. But I know she's an avid social media user. Like she's constantly lurking, constantly watching, constantly taking in tea and all that stuff. And I can't picture her ever attempting to try, because that sort of like wall she's put up of, oh my God, those people that are showing those really tough moments, those vulnerable moments, that are showing themselves trying, I could never be them, because that's embarrassing, that's intense. And I think that to me is so interesting, because I'm a public trier and failer. Like and again, for me, I'm not failing because I'm constantly trying. But for me, I am a public, you will see. Like I talk about it all the time, how my vlog channel isn't growing. Like I've always struggled with it. I don't think it's doing well. And I've like, oh, I think I might quit. I might not quit. But one thing about Sophie, she's going to keep trying. I might say I'm going to quit. I might quit 50 million times. I will never stop. I want to be a huge vlogger. Like I want to be a triple threat. Everyone keeps telling me, stop having three YouTube channels, stick to one. I'm like, I wouldn't be odd if I wasn't if this wasn't me.
Yeah.
Right? Like this is me. I enjoy doing 50 million things at once. My brain doesn't function if I'm just focusing on one thing. I've never even attempted to try doing one thing. So I'm always going to be this way. I'm going to just embrace who I am. Sidebar. But going back to this, I think that's why for me, failure, especially right now, is so important. So how does that change, and how can I like help you switch your mindset up if you are that kind of person? I think your perspective on trying, failure, and shame needs to be different. Because you guys, I do get embarrassed. Like
crazy.
I get so ashamed. I get so embarrassed. I get so scared. Like yesterday, I texted Donald, like, what if I fail? Like I'm saying a podcast right now talking about failure, and I still texted how, like, what if I fail? What if I do not achieve the dreams I want. That is such a possibility. It's a scary possibility. It's crippling. I would never be the
So
person who lets that swallow me.
right, it's a possibility, like we said, is if you stop.
Also, what if I succeed?
Right.
Right? It's a
Oh
perspective
my God.
shift.
That's also another thing, right? The failure, right? It's not just fail, because also people are also scared to succeed,
Yes.
right? Because it's like, what happens?
And also think about the mindset shifts. It is easier to ask yourself, what if I fail? That's the easiest thing to do, because at that point, mentally, you're thinking to yourself, oh, yeah, failure is right there, right? That perception is easy to accept versus what if I succeed? I wonder what your life would look like if that was the question you asked yourself instead.
Yeah.
Because then, honestly, I like to also say success meets opportunity and preparation, right? Or whatever that, I keep forgetting that damn phrase. But basically, the idea is,
No,
if you,
preparation meets opportunity.
there we go. God dang it. Preparation means opportunity,
No,
y'all.
the first time you said it, I was thinking,
I was like, I couldn't get it.
no, but you're right, yeah.
Because if you ask yourself, what if I succeed? You are always going to be better prepared for when the opportunity comes for you to take it. And I think that's what changed for me this year.
Yeah.
Like everything I am doing right now is in preparation for success to happen, not failure.
Yeah.
For success. Like I think about it from 2-3 years ago. I remember when I first got viral, I thought to myself, oh my God, this is a lot of people watching me now. What if I say the wrong thing? My mouth is sharp. Like y'all, you've not even seen the half of it. When I start talking, I talk. I yap a lot. Okay. So I would think to myself, oh my God, at some point, people are gonna cancel me. I'm gonna lose everything. And I said, no. But what if I succeeded? What if I tried and kept trying and I just went for it? What would happen? Opportunity will come and I will be so prepared to bite it and take it.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I want your shift to be. So for this episode, the idea of failure, if you're leaving this episode after you listen to it, I want you to think about how much more successful you will be when you start thinking about failure not as inevitable, but as non-existent, because you're not going to fail. You are going to be successful at what you do because you're going to keep trying. If you want to be a content creator, you're going to keep trying. You're going to post 3 times a day on TikTok, or 3 to 5 times a week on TikTok. You're going to post on Instagram. You're going to post on stories. You're going to try Snapchat. You're going to try social media platforms. You're going to take classes. What if you want to be an editor? You're going to take editing classes. You're going to watch YouTube videos. What if you want to be a lawyer? You're going to practice for the LSATs. You're going to study. What if you want to be financially responsible? You're going to start looking at financial courses. Courses is crazy. Courses. How would I say that? Courses.
Forces.
Courses.
Core.
Core. Okay, y'all. Bilingual.
Because what you want at the end of the day is you want to be seen.
Who? Anybody?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I
No,
feel like being seen is a whole different
No,
conversation.
because that's where does opportunity come from, right?
When
It
you're
comes from
seeing, because you're
visibility.
seeing visibility of trying.
Yes.
But even that can apply to every single thing, whether that's at work, whether it's family. Like,
Yeah.
imagine you as like a young teenager when you're going to your parents and you're asking them for like an allowance, right? And they'll say, well, you didn't do the chores yesterday. But they saw you do the chores yesterday. So when you ask for the allowance, you get it.
Yeah.
Because you were seen, because you tried,
Yeah.
right? If you're talking about wanting to get to Sephora Squad next year, you're from today, you're not gonna start doing Sephora Squad like content when Squad applications open. You're gonna start doing content today. Right now, when you hear this episode, hopefully you're not hearing this when the Squad applications open, okay? But the idea is you're gonna start now, because if you are posting beauty and lifestyle content today till next year, by the time the Squad applications arrive, if you have 100 followers today, you're gonna have 100,000 next year. Now, if you don't say so. If you said I'm gonna have 100K, you're just gonna keep trying, because maybe you have 100K in 2 years, maybe you have 100K in a day, maybe you have 100K in 5 years, in 10 years. There's this guy on YouTube who's a fisher guy. Fish O'Dad, or O'Dad Fish. So random. This is such a tangent.
Mhm.
But he went viral recently because he's been posting fishing content on YouTube for 7 years. And I don't know if this was even a plot or something. I never know with social media what's real or not. But some Hope Core page posted his YouTube channel where they just like were scrolling through and they saw his story. He'd been posting for 7 years. He had like 10 views, 5,000 views, 2,000 views for 7 years. And then they posted it and said he went through surgery, he survived, he's back to fishing, and he has 1.5 million subscribers in 24 hours.
Yeah.
Because opportunity came. And now this man who has been posting for 7 years is prepared. He posted the video immediately. Look at my life now. That video, 300,000 views. He was prepared. Now he knows what to expect because he's been creating that content for months, for years. You know what I mean? So again, shift your perspective from what if I fail to what if I succeed. Prepare for it because success is going to come. You're going to be successful. There's no amount of anything that could happen to shift that.
Yeah.
And
don't quit too early.
You're not going to quit too early. It's not impossible. And you got this. That is the first official episode on the couch. We're going to take a stab at this. We're going to keep trying. Hopefully at some point we have Beyonce sitting across from me talking about all the times she failed and all the times she succeeded, because we only ever see her success, right? So you never know, maybe Sophie's wishful thinking. What if someday I keep at this and I get to 1 million downloads? I get to be the one on the magazine like Alex Cooper just was, where she talked about her $125 million Sirius XM deal to build like a production empire, right? There's so many stories I want to tell. And sometimes I get scared that I'm going to fail. Like, I am terrified, you guys. If I tell you the things I dream of, you probably might even laugh at me, because how can you think that's possible? But there's just like something that I just know. Me and Donald are going to be successful.
Yeah.
Like, we have no choice, right?
There's no other option.
There's no other option.
And I think it's so scary.
I can't picture my life any other way.
Yeah.
Because the moment I stop trying is the moment I would give up. And I can't imagine what a life would look like if I ever gave up.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love you so much. I am really, really excited. I feel like this was a really good episode because I am comfortable. And people were right. If you're listening to this and you told me to film indoors, you were right. I was wrong. I feel like a lot comfortable. These socks are crazy. We're going to get Am I Too Loud socks because that is crazy. Do they look dirty? They are dirty.
No, they don't look dirty.
Why are you saying like that?
It's just purple.
It's a wild color. I love you guys so much. I don't want to go because I feel like I was enjoying the conversation. I'm just enjoying you guys. But me and Donald love you so much. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're listening to this on Spotify, don't forget to rate the episode, rate the podcast. Let us know what kind of episodes you want us to talk about. Now that we're doing this indoors, we can always record whenever. And I think Donald's going to teach me how to carry the podcast anywhere I go. Honestly, sometimes like this is the only thing I need, right? If I ever want to film, like the mic and just talking. So your girl's a podcast girly. Take 2. I love you. Thank you so much for watching Am I Too Loud? And was I too loud in this episode? Never. Never, ever, ever. Mwah. Bye, guys.